Clashes between Palestinian Authority security forces and armed factions in the West Bank's Jenin camp continued overnight as the PA's Operation Homeland Protection entered its 27th day, coinciding with the 60th anniversary of the establishment of the ruling Fatah party. Rather than a sign of stability, this political milestone comes at a time of unprecedented unpopularity, a result of years of internal infighting and inactions in its relations with Israel. Now, joining us to break this down is Samir Sinijalawi, a Fatah activist and chairman at the Jerusalem Development Fund. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. After 60 years, how relevant is the Fatah movement in the power landscape for the Palestinians today?
Well, what I don't really understand is how that the PA leadership cancels the celebration of Christmas on the 25th of December and then calls for the celebration of the establishment of Fatah on the 31st of December. This contradiction, I don't really understand. What are they celebrating with the anniversary of Fatah? Are they celebrating that on these days, 11 Palestinians were killed in Palestinian bullets in the streets of Jenin refugee camps? What's the difference between the bullet that killed Shireen Abu Akleh 4 years ago and the bullet that killed another Palestinian journalist, Shada Sabah, 4 days ago? What are they celebrating? Are they celebrating that today we have around 10 kids that were killed by cold weather in Gaza? The cold weather is becoming lethal in Gaza. Aren't these people under the responsibility of the people who are celebrating the leadership? And look at the celebration. They are celebrating the same way that the armed groups in Jenin are celebrating, walking the streets of Ramallah with, covering their face and having heavy arms shooting in the air. This is a lot of contradiction. For me, the President Abbas has closed the doors of Fatah for any real reforms and any serious criticism. And he transformed Fatah into a propaganda machine that serves him, that is only good to serve his own personal interest, nothing to do with the Palestinians. Fatah, unfortunately now, is not sensitive to the killing of 11 Palestinians in Jenin, nor 10 kids in Gaza. Even if all the Palestinians are killed, these people will not change, and they will not bring change to the Palestinian people. These people are only serving their corrupt interest. And whenever somebody criticizes them, they don't be ashamed to call him or accuse him by treason or disloyalty. Despite that they are clear corrupt people, everybody knows it, that they are corrupt, that they are useless to the Palestinian people, that they are not serving the national interest of the Palestinian people. So with their presence, nothing will change. The Palestinian people will remain as we are now, under a lot of pressure. Every day we woke up and we are sure that today is going to be worse than yesterday. Nobody is bringing hope. The Palestinians would like to see a change, a leadership that brings to them hope, that works for their national interest.
And let me ask you then to that question, for the Palestinians in the West Bank looking for internal leadership, how much trust is there on Fatah and the PA, and what are the alternatives if they exist?
I served my whole life in Fatah. I became part of Fatah at the age of 14. I entered to the Israeli jails at the age of 15 for being Fatah. And I continued to be, and until now, I cannot, exit Fatah. I think Fatah could be the tool of change, but with the current leadership, it's becoming a very bad trademark. The Palestinian people, the Palestinian street does not trust Fatah nor Hamas. These are becoming very bad trademarks. And I think maybe it's the time for the Palestinians to establish something else, something new, something that can prove to the people that a political leadership can work for the people, that a political leadership can be accountable, can be transparent, can be objective, pragmatic, can be serious and wise and smart into trying to bring cooperation and maybe partnership, including with Israelis, including with the Americans, including with everybody.
But
We need
do you,
such a trend to come. So maybe it's time for a third way, not Hamas, not Fatah. These are becoming a very bad trademarks among Palestinians.
right, so you're saying it's time for potentially it's time for a third way, a third solution. When you say it's time for, how realistic does that sound at this moment with so many conflicts going on, so much violence going on?
Well, they are very relevant. I am very much in support of de-radicalization of the Palestinian people, moderation of the Palestinian society. I am very much in support of criminalization of any use of violence, including the use of violence against Israelis. But the ways that the PA has resorted to in dealing with the phenomena of guns in Jenin are wrong ways. They are, you can see now after almost 28 days, there is a total collapse for the Palestinian security agencies there. They are not able to achieve anything. 15,000 people are for 28 days under siege there, and yet they are not controlling, and there are no solutions. The solution should be by providing social justice, by creating trust between the street and the leadership. There should be a social contract between the leadership and the Palestinian street that everybody respects. And then the whole Palestinian society will start imposing security, will start imposing law enforcement, will cooperate. There will be a system that endorses the enforcement of law. But now, when everybody does not trust these people, they don't trust their intentions. They know that these people are only there to maintain their personal interest. Nobody's going to cooperate. The trend will be against them. Jenin refugee camp, maybe there is 100 young people who are related to Jihad Islami, but there are another 15,000 who are nothing to do with Jihad Islami. But yet everybody is against the PA because nobody trusts the PA. And the Palestinians now, they have seen that Hamas brought upon them destruction in Gaza, and the PA brought upon them corruption in the West Bank. And they don't need, they are very much opposing. They are under a lot of pressure. They want to get rid of this corruption in the West Bank and the destructions of Gaza. And they need to find a way for construction, for hope, for engagement in a better future. Any Palestinian, especially our young people, the Gen Z, they have their mobiles and they are connected to the world and they see how everything is flourishing around them, and they are very desperate in the same bad conditions for years and years, and they want hope, and they don't trust that this leadership will bring them any hope.